Alright guys, so here we are with my 1994 F-350. Guys have probably seen it if you're on the forums. I'm doing a 12 valve cummins swap, swapping out. This is 94 IDI factory turbo engine. It's a great engine, super reliable. Really no issues with it. Just got tired of it, wanted to do a cummins swap. So here we are with the cummins. Got the camera set up to kind of do a little time lapse for you. Got the 12 valve over here, it's all tore down. Can do some build up of it. See what I can afford. I don't want to keep this thing down too long, but we'll see how long it takes me. And yeah, we're just gonna get started here and see how long it takes me to pull out a 7.3 IDI. Alright guys, enjoy. Alright dudes, so we got the front headlight shroud off, headlights out. It's all right over there. Super easy. And yeah, we'll move on. So next I'm going to take off this little guy here, little rock guard. Super easy. 2 bolts. One there, one right down in there. I don't know if you can see it. Same thing on the other side. One there, one there. Now I'm going to do that by coming down in through here, just right down on the bottom and up top. As you can see, I don't have batteries in this area, or battery trays or nothing, so super easy for me. Otherwise, there's a couple bolts. Let's see if we can get you down in here. Alright, there's a couple bolts come up through your splash shields here and up along the liner. Take those out, little 8mm bolts, and yeah, we can pull that down and get to those 2 bolts back in there. Alright, so taking off front bumper, super easy. It's an 08 Super Duty bumper. Whoa, you guys are doing a flip. Alright, anyway, 08 Super Duty bumper. Welded my bracket straight to the bumper. These are the factory brackets. I believe they were the backing plates for the factory bumper. Yeah, they were the backing plates for the factory bumper. Just flipped them on the front side of the mount, bolted them, leveled my bumper, got everything squared up, tacked them on there, welded them in there, solid. Now I got those, couple shims for washers. Get your bumper exactly where you need it. Good to go. So I'm going to take those off. Fog lights, super easy. Factory wires to clip. Alright guys, so coolant cell draining. Haven't really done anything. Just cut the hose. Don't care, not reusing it. Selling this engine to a guy. Ground for your alternator. Power for your alternator. Before you take them off, undo the battery. Or in my case, I got a switch in the back. And just flip a little switch. Turns off my battery. I get no power. If we mess with anything electrical, just make sure you do that. Undo those. Undo this heater core coolant line. And then there's one more. Let's see if we can get it right there on the side of the block. Can you see it? Undo that. My setup's a little bit different than all you guys because I got a coolant filter down there, and my hoses are all ran everywhere, and my socket's just dropped to the ground. Okay, anyway, so I'm just going to show you my battery disconnect, because I know somebody will ask. Weather guard, great toolbox by the way. Alright. Over here. Probably should have put it on the other side. Ever had a fire or something, it'd be a lot easier. But on off switch, off. All 3 batteries in here, and my junk. Lock her back up. And yeah, continue on removing an engine, because that's fun, right? Not really. my nice fancy dancy improvised tool stand and keep all my stuff organized. Sweet, huh? Cool. Continuing. Alright, so here's what we got going so far. Taking the AC condenser, transcooler, and radiator out, right? Alright, so have brackets here that hold your AC condenser in, brackets for my 6.0 transcooler, yeah, things vibrating, being weird. Anyway, transcooler and radiator. So radiator has a couple mounts. Let's see where they go. So here, and one up top. One comes from one side, one comes from the other because I put in a cooler. And yeah, super easy. So that's where I'm at now. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and drain the oil on this old girl. But in order to do so, when you have a lowered dually or a lowered vehicle of any sort, you run into little issues. Can't really fit a drain pan underneath my truck. Now, what do you think? I think we can go ahead. Drain. Gotta love diesels. Alrighty, dudes. Got everything out of the front. Pretty much all my lines. I still need to undo some engine harness stuff. Right here. So goes the alternator. All my coolant's out. All my AC lines are off. Power steering lines are off. Pretty much just ready to come out of there. As far as the engine, still need to undo the starter. I just undid trans lines from transmission. So get up underneath here. Let's see here if we can get a good view. Alright, I don't know if you can see up right there, but I got those two trans lines undone. I got a remote filter, so it goes from there, comes around the frame, ends up right there. Nothing crazy. Need to undo transmission mount there. Some of the wiring to the transmission, pretty easy. Undo that. The shift linkage is already undone. Got a sensor on the other side. Trans mount, engine mounts, ready to pull some stuff out. Yeah. So that does it for the wiring. Got a ground. I don't know if you can see it right there for the transmission. Other side mounts, and I'll be done. If you don't have a set of these Allens and Torx, I suggest you get some. Worth their weight in gold. They're awesome. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do that, and then we're gonna come down here and pull the drive line off. The drive line on this is actually Torx screws back of the axle, and then you got a carrier bearing right up there. Pull out. There we go, we're recording. Alright, drive shaft. T45 Torx, right there. 4 of them, pretty easy. Now make sure you have alright, let's see if we can get an angle on this. I don't know if you can see that. You should be able to. Right here, with your slip yoke. So once your drive line's out, don't drop it and damage the splines on the slip yoke into the carrier bearing, and don't drop the drive line itself. It'll break the ears off the U-joint on the drive line, and caps can come off, needle bearings go everywhere. Anyway, I'm gonna pull this out. If you're like me and have a brand new driveway, use a bucket, some cardboard, mounts, or not water mounts, sorry, transmission mounts. Hopefully you can see that. These two bolts go to your mount itself, but won't give you enough room to push the transmission up. It's gonna hit the floor before it goes high enough to clear your cross member. So you got to undo. There's two bolts underneath the other side of your mount that go into the transmission. Undo those, and it'll slide right off out and forward. I had and removed two bolts off the transmission mount, so I can lift it up. She's free. What I wanted to show you was these plugs. So this harness runs up over the top. You got this big one here that goes down into the top of your transmission. One right next to it. And this guy is the one that we undone that goes to your TCM. Yeah, and they just run over to the side, and that's it. Make sure you undo those. Shift cable just pops off. Just a little ball pops off the ball. There's little push tabs. Push the tabs in on each side, and it just slides on through. Not hard. Truck's back down off the stands. Transmission's undone. All mounts are undone. Engine mounts are undone. Double check all your lines, all your wires. Make sure nothing's hooked up. As far as I can tell, should be 100% good to yank this bad boy. With any luck, could have it out today. So, but it's just myself, so I don't have any helpers. The wife will come out and help with certain things if I really need it, but for the most part, it's just myself. I'm going to take off the radiator support and everything. Shouldn't be too hard. As far as I know, it's just this mount, the mount on the other side, and then if you can look up, a couple bolts on the fender itself. Should just be two in there. 1, 2. That should be it. Well, as you can see, the radiator support's off now. It was not fun, and I wouldn't recommend it if you're just pulling an engine. Just pull the hood off, pull it up and out. A lot easier. Anyway, a couple mounts right down there. Boop, there. And there. 2 in the fender on each side, here and here. That's all that's holding your radiator support, core support in. And a whole bunch of wires. So your whole wiring harness for all your headlights, starter solenoid, AC, everything runs up and across the front of your truck, along with your battery cables and all that for your factory. My setup's a little bit different. I got all my battery stuff in the toolbox of the truck, so I got a bunch of extra stuff that you guys don't have. But yeah, that's it. She's ready to pull out. So she's coming out. I just need to lift up the transmission a little bit to clear. Obviously a little bit more difficult. The transmission's still attached, but a lot easier with the core support out, so not too hard at all. Yeah, so I'm just going to throw a ratchet strap from the back of the transmission up to or up here. Kind of give it some leverage, pull up on the back because it's just me. Alright, now as you can see I got plenty of clearance. Got a ratchet strap. Go in the back, bring the back of the transmission up. Clearing everything. Yeah, clearing everything nice and good. Make sure I'm not snagging any of my lines. Should slide right on out. Alright, so she's out. Pretty freaking easy. Day was worth work, maybe. Pretty easy. Tranny's out. Engine's out. Gotta undo this transmission.